So by way of a change, we're here at Compton Bay along the Military Road, National Trust owned area. So this is a Compton Grange, Compton Bay behind me. This is all, this was arable when the National Trust purchased it a few years ago, and they've reverted the arable to open grassland. I don't think they seeded it, I think they just let wild plants colonise under its own steam, and now there are cattle on here. Kind of a surrogate for wild oryx, which is a European wild ox. So oryx is basically the wild cattle species that domesticated cattle were bred from. So basically a lot of the traits, a lot of the behaviour and basic ecology of oryx, the wild species that's globally extinct now, a lot of those traits live on in domestic cattle. Domestic cattle are a lot smaller than oryx were. So because we can't put oryx on places like this, we use the next best thing, which is cattle. And generally kind of rare breed cattle. Not sure which ones they've used here, but the idea being that over time, with the grazing and browsing of cattle or oryx, the wildlife will return to this kind of landscape, the kind of wildlife that has adapted and evolved to live alongside grazing and browsing oryx, or domestic cattle in this case. It's looking quite nice. There's not much emerging woody vegetation, shrubs, bramble and that kind of stuff, but hopefully that will colonise eventually. At the moment it's very open. Can't see any cattle on here at the moment. Maybe they've been moved somewhere else for a while. Right, it's quite chilly. You can see the needles in the distance. Let's go back down to the car and go along a little bit. Actually, let's have a quick look at Compton Bay first before I drive east in the direction of Blackgang. So just cross the road now over to the Compton Bay side. There's a nice new toilet block built by the National Trust. Such a beautiful day. The sun is really bright. There's a bit of a breeze, but it's nowhere near as cold as I thought it might be. Just have a look up on this mound down into Compton Bay. There's the Needles in the distance. Look at that west side down. The Needles on the left hand side, coming along, coming east along the coastline. Freshwater Bay directly in the middle of the frame. And then going up again where the golf course is. Is that Brookdown? I think it's Brookdown. Towards Compton Farm, and then down here to Compton Bay. Compton Grange. Very nice. Where are we now? We're just below on the west side of Blackgang. This is the old Merlin's building. I think this is the Merlin's one. There was another building here, I think. So maybe that was Merlin's. It was one of them anyway. What was Merlin's? An old curry place, was it? Lovely curry restaurant, or was it pizzas? I think it was curries. Facing right into the sun now, so not going to be able to see very much. Catherine's oratory is up there somewhere. Let's go up to the Black Gang watch point, I think. Here we are at the Black Gang viewpoint car park. Let's go and have a look at the cliff top, I think. Keep an eye open for any eagles. There's one this morning down at Freshwater Bay, and 5 were seen from the little cafe down on the east side of Freshwater Bay. White-tailed sea eagles, part of a reintroduction project. Anyway, let's go along the cliff. So I've seen them here a few times in the past, from during the early days of the reintroduction, probably 4 or 5 years ago, when they used to, in winter, this time of year really, they used to fish off of Black Gang, go out, and where the gulls were kind of gathered to hunt for fish, the eagles would go and join the gulls and just pluck fish out of the sea and take them inland. That's pretty spectacular to watch. Saw that a few times along here. But not in recent years. They seem to have lost interest in this bit of coastline, the white-tailed eagles. They seem to hunt more in the Solent and elsewhere. They love Poole Harbour, that's for sure. So if you want to see sea eagles, go to Poole Harbour. Around Wareham, that kind of area, I think. There's Black Gang Chine directly below us. Gore Cliff off to the left. Let's have a quick look at the view before we head back down into the undercliff towards Ventnor. So there's still some frosting, some pretty hefty frosting in the grass on the molehill. Must have been blooming cold up here last night. Certainly wasn't cold in the undercliff particularly. I've yet to feel cold in the car when I'm in the sleeping bag. Obviously when I get out of the sleeping bag I do feel the cold because it is cold. But it doesn't feel as cold as I thought it would do. I'm certainly doing better in the car than I was in the Belingo in terms of staying warm. Believe it or not, there's Gore Cliff. Swing round, Black Gang Chine directly below us, and then the military road, the flatlands along the military road, heading off west towards the Needles. Just about to see the chalk, the West Side Down and the Needles. I don't think you can quite see I can see St Albans Head and Purbeck beyond the Needles. I'm not sure you can see it on a little screen. You might be able to see it on a TV if you're watching this video on a TV. There's Black Gang Chine, very noisy in the summer, lovely and peaceful this time of year. Well, we're back in the lovely Ventnor. It's not difficult to see why, is it? There goes the sun. It's only about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I think, so the sun is really warm. Definitely be lizards out today. See if we can see any as I go up the hill, I think. Well, no sign of any lizards so far. I'm sure they're out and about on some of these walls. Let's wall along here where it's sunny anyway. That sun is so strong. The old daffodils are poking through quite nicely. There's a few primroses in flower. So it's definitely spring is in the air. There's another lovely sign of spring on its way. Or is it midwinter? Snowdrops emerging. Where are we now? We're up at the terrace again. Subject lost. Well, it's nice to be back in Ventnor. I'm back on the terrace. Let's see if I can get the little camera to follow me around to the view. I can't see the screen on the Osmo Pocket 3 now, so I can't tell if you can see the view. Maybe you can. Ventnor Bay is just over there. Let's see if I can swing you around this far. Sun is in my eyes now. So behind me is Ventnor Downs. I come to the edge, I think, so you probably can't see that. But let's come back around here. Going to keep following me, or have you lost me? No, you're still on me. What an amazing piece of kit. Seems to be able to follow me even if I walk fairly fast. Sit back on my bench. Hope you enjoyed the little walk along the military road. How level is this camera? Yeah, it's not too bad. I forgot the little tripod thing that came with the Osmo Pocket 3. So I kind of wedged it in between my, I don't know what that was, wedged it in between my binoculars. Using that as a carrying crow, making a silly sound. This pair, I used to feed them. It's the same pair. Been here for 3 or 4 years. There's a jay in the background. But although I've stopped feeding them, they still know me and they still expect to be fed. So I'm going to have to bring some food up, maybe a bit later today. What time is it now? 3 o'clock, I think, roughly. Got the phone, haven't I? No, it's only 2:38. Oh, it's not. I love this little little microphone I use now. Is the DJI Mic Mini, which I think is their cheapest microphone. Let's see if I can get that in focus. Might be in focus. It's a little tiny lightweight microphone, which is a lot cheaper than the Mic 2, which came with the Osmo Pocket 3. But the sound quality on this cheaper, slightly more up-to-date microphone, all the reviews, or a lot of the reviews, suggest it's better than the Mic 2. DJI Mic 2, and I really love it. It's a lovely little kind of discreet microphone. And I think, tell me if you think the sound quality is adequate. I think it certainly is. But anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoyed following me along for a walk along the military road. There's a jay flying over, and a second one. They'll be going for the holm oak acorns. They might clear them out by now, actually. I think the wood, well, I know the wood pigeons feast on them as well in the autumn, because October, November, December, the undercliff where there's all the holm oaks fill up with migrating wood pigeons, and they feast on the acorns, the holm oak acorns, and then migrate over the English Channel, heading into Iberia, I think, where there's lots more holm oaks and other sorts of oaks where they can carry on feeding. But the jays, they tend to just bury the acorns, and that's why we've got so many invasive holm oaks throughout the undercliff. Well, it's not the only reason. The main reason is because humans were a bit silly, and the numpties planted loads of holm oaks, and now they're spreading like wildfire. Probably shouldn't use the phrase wildfire at the moment, given what's going on in Los Angeles at the moment. It's a bit of a conflagration. Wildfire's really going crazy over there because of droughts, over abstracting water, which is making the ground drier, and what I think is climate change related droughts as well. Anyway, back on topic. Let's not talk about that for now. Yeah, I will be doing more videos of more parts of the Isle of Wight as the spring progresses. It was lovely to get down to Compton and come along. I'm slightly short on time because I've got to go to Dorset for a couple of days, so I need to get back here, but yeah, thanks for following along with that. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these kind of videos as well, where you actually see me rather than just see where I'm walking. But I'm going to go into town now because I need to do some shopping. Have a quick look in the cemetery. St Catherine's Churchyard. This is what I wanted to see. Little primroses coming into flower. Sure sign of spring. So I'm not religious, but they certainly have the best buildings. Church of England, is this Church of England? I don't know. I know nothing about religion, but they have nice buildings. Nice yew tree there. They have the best trees as well. And of course the best lichens on their gravestones. So the sun is gradually getting lower, temperature's gradually falling. So I'm just on it along Eastern Esplanade. See if I can see these purple sandpipers, which I failed to see on my last video. Tide is quite low, so I might see them on the rocks here. So I'm going to walk slowly along here. Tell me if you see one. A little tiny purplish bird. Should look quite purple with the sun quite low and bright. Just on the rocks. Very long beak. Only tiny though. Starling size, I suppose, if you know what a starling size is. Bigger than a house sparrow. I think they're most likely to be further along on the concrete apron below the skate park, but you never know. So there's a rock pipit down on the down on one of those rocks. On the rock in the very middle of the frame. I think he's gone actually, he has gone. Oh, he's hopped up onto the next. Right in the middle of the frame now. So if the rock pipits are down there, then probably the purple sandpipers are down there somewhere. The old waves are crashing over the rocks, but purple sandpipers don't mind that at all. They know how to handle the sea. Can't see any down there. Let's see if they're a little way along over there. Over that way a bit. You see another rock pipit. But no purple sandpipers yet. Let's walk along a little way. I'm about to run out of battery power on this camera, so rock pipit calling. I don't think the microphone would have picked that up. I love watching the waves crash along these sheep piles. Sat along there, something a bit bigger. That might be a pied wagtail actually. Yep, it's a pied wagtail. Oh well, no sign of the purple sandpipers again. So I'm going to go back and get a cup of coffee in Tony's tea room, I think. Do a little bit of work on the computer and enjoy the sunset. The black-headed gull's wanting to have some food, I think. And there goes the sun, or there has gone the sun. Off to the west. Now pretty dark. But as ever, this little Osmo Pocket 3 is handling the low light pretty damn well. I think you'll agree. And there is Flea looking happy on Ventnor seafront. What a gorgeous evening. The temperature's really dropping now. So I hope you're enjoying this video about Ventnor and the Undercliff. If so, then don't forget there are 2 books that I've written. One, Birdwatching Around Ventnor, creatively named, and the second one is Wildlife Watching Around Ventnor. Just short books about the local area that are the subject of this video. Available on Amazon. I'll put a link below this video, and you can also order it from the library, and it's available in all major bookshops, both of these little booklets, and in a few shops along the Esplanade, like the Longshoremen's Museum and Lady Scarlett's Tea Room as well. But yeah, I'll put a link to the description if you want a slightly deeper dive into the Isle of Wight Undercliff. Then these 2 little booklets might be of interest to you. Just go onto Amazon otherwise and just search for Steve Jones and Ventnor and you should find them.